Congas.
All right.
That's what I think.
You're going to put your money on the
Jury
IBF junior bantamweight champ
from the Philippines.
on Cajas against
Cajas.
Jamie Conlon, even though that fight's going to be in Belfast.
It's risky. It's in Belfast. I think he's going to knock him out, though. He's better. Conlon's been down in a lot of fights.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of pro fights, but he had an extensive amateur career.
Right. Mick's brother, right?
Yes, we're
Michael
talking
Conlon's
about
brother.
Michael Conlon's brother, Jamie Conlon. He's a junior bantamweight/bantamweight.
So that'll be on the undercard of Carl Frampton's return.
And who is Carl Frampton fighting?
Horatio, the guy who Jojo Diaz fought.
Oh, Horatio Garcia.
Correct.
Well, he'll make for a fun fight if nothing
Fun fight.
else. Yeah.
Yep.
And the fact that Frampton's coming off a loss and has been inactive all freaking year since
long
January,
time. Yeah.
that's an interesting fight. I like that.
Yeah.
Say what's up, Coach.
Hey, JP's back.
Yeah, how
Welcome,
about that?
JP.
Had to be here for you.
We missed you.
Missed you.
You want to do it over there in case the sun peeks out, or?
I don't know if the sun is going to come out.
Yeah.
Well, JP can read it anyway.
Yeah, well,
It doesn't matter.
you'd be able to read from this
I'll
phone.
be able to read
Yeah,
it.
JP
Yeah.
can read
So
it.
if you guys have any questions about Beterbiev, JC Ramirez's great performance,
Yeah, how about that? 14,000 or 13,000?
14,000 people in
Wow.
Fresno. I know Doug has a lot of UK followers. If you guys from Scotland were
Hey,
impressed
Doug.
by
Hey,
it.
Coach. Hey, JP. It's Jacob from Victorville again. Happy
Jacob.
Sunday.
What's
Okay.
happening?
Give
What's
us a
happening,
question,
Jacob?
bro. But happy Sunday to you.
I know Doug has a lot of UK followers. Let us know what you thought of Josh Taylor, the man. He's
Wow.
incredible.
Yeah. No, he's already a contender at 140 pounds.
Yeah.
So what do you think of Teddy Atlas?
That
I
was
couldn't
something
watch
else.
the fights.
Rare
I
form, right?
I can't watch it. I mean, it's a joke. I know he's smart. I know he's a good guy. He's a good father.
He's a world-class
He's
trainer.
completely out of his mind.
Yeah.
And I can't even watch it for 1 second.
Well, you know what? Okay, you impressed with Danny Jacobs last night? This is
Well,
Jacob
I
is
tell
asking
you
this.
how I was impressed with Danny.
Jacob Calderal or Caldera.
I tell you how I was impressed with Danny Jacobs.
Yes, Coach.
First of all, Andre Rozier's
I like Doug's new
trainer. Andre Rozier's trainer has to be the best. I
You're
mean,
impressed with Rozier.
Oh, I love Rozier and the way he talks to him in the corner, what he says. Also, he's got Chris Algieri, so he's got a real team. Now he's got Eddie Hearn, so he's got a major team going. But the thing is
Hello, Brazil.
that I was watching the press conferences, and Danny Jacobs is like an actor playing a fighter. This guy is so smooth, so smart, so sophisticated, and he was so pissed off at the kid he was fighting.
Luis Arias.
He was so pissed off at him. And after the fight, he said the guy got into his head. That he didn't fight the fight he should fight. He let his emotions get him. He was going for the knockout, and he didn't fight a smart fight, and the guy got to him. Well, that's pretty good that he can say that. You know, he's not in denial. But, you know, that's life. You can't let your emotions get you. You know, you got to...
It's good advice.
So
true.
anyway, I thought that I was watching Eddie Hearn the whole time, thinking, does he know what he's getting himself into?
In the States.
I mean, this is not Europe. Here he's got this way out in the end of Long Island. They're gonna have like 5,000 or 6,000 people. I don't know what he's doing there. I don't know what their plans are with Danny Jacobs, but that he did not win by a knockout didn't help his future.
Right.
I mean, it was a boring fight.
It's pretty
I thought,
boring.
You know, he's really good. Danny Jacobs is great, but I don't know. They need like more of an explosion there to get Danny Jacobs going. And you're not going to get it winning like one-sided 10-round fights, like
Right.
that, 12 rounds. But it was good, and also the fight on the Showbox fights on Friday
You love those.
were incredible. The main,
sensational.
Yondell Evans
That's-
versus
Luis Rosa.
Luis Rosa.
Props to Rosa for setting that tempo.
That was a great
For
fight.
coming out like gangbusters in the opening round. And Evans just responded in kind, and they just went at it.
Showbox is the best.
That was Showbox, yeah. That was
that was a great fight. But I tell you what, my man, the Hebrew Hammer.
Cletus Selden.
Cletus Selden.
Oh,
I like
your
him.
man.
God.
He's got some
That guy.
power.
That guy's
No,
rough.
but he doesn't only have power; he can box too. I mean,
And you think you
I
can
was-
sell some tickets out there
Yeah.
Oh, he was good.
Yeah,
But, you
he's
know,
the one who brought in the crowd.
from Star Boxing.
He was
Joe
good.
DeGuardia guy.
Yes.
Well, he'll definitely get another HBO shot.
Yeah,
after that.
HBO was high on him,
Yeah.
and I think that's great.
Hey,
you
so
know.
Dougie, I'm going to test
Okay.
how your recall is.
Okay.
And if you really watch it. So last night at the fights, HBO, which was really a good show, but you know the fights were sort of
Yeah.
But so they talked about the last time HBO was at the Nassau Coliseum.
Right. Right.
Okay, do you remember anything what they said?
Yeah, I think it was it all the way back to Jerry Cooney
Yeah.
beating Ron Lyle.
Yeah. What year was that?
Oh, what year was that? Jerry Cooney, Ron Lyle. It was either 79 or 1980. No, wait, it was probably 1980 or 81.
Yeah, it was 84.
84? No way!
Yeah.
Come on.
wrote it
He
down.
didn't. Hey,
Oh, yeah,
Jerry
SMC
Cooney didn't
track.
fight Larry Holmes until 1982. And he beat guys
okay.
guys like Ken Norton and Ron Lyle on his
Okay.
way to the title.
Then I might have. Oh no, I'm sorry. It was 1980.
Coach and Doug.
Doug, you're right. It was 1980. Okay, but here's
You
the thing.
can't trust the internet,
Okay,
man. You can
okay.
trust me though.
Okay, no, no. The internet was right. I just
Okay,
I
all right.
remember wrong. It was 1980, and it was actually I think that was his last fight before the Holmes fight.
Okay.
Okay.
Might have been.
So let me ask you this. I want to see how well you watched that little tape they had there.
Okay.
Who was the ring announcer?
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, the ring announcer. I didn't see.
Jimmy Lennon Sr.
Oh, senior. Yeah. So
Jimmy Lennon Sr.
was going
And
in.
the ref, I couldn't quite make out the ref. I
Yeah.
looked it up, but I couldn't. Could have been Arthur McCanny, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not sure. I couldn't really.
You know
make
what
it
I
out.
was looking at when they were showing that was Cooney's left hook to the body. It was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Question for Coach and Doug. Jacob wants to know, when do you guys think we'll see Wilder and Joshua fight?
I think earliest is summer of 2018.
Okay. What do you think,
I think
Coach?
it's good that Wilder has Shelly Finkel back into the fold and helping to represent them along with Al Heyman, because I think Finkel will do business. He'll move things along. He sees the opportunity here. And I think Finkel realizes that maybe Wilder is as good as he's going to get. And the longer they wait, it only goes to the advantage of Anthony Joshua, who's still learning, still developing, only has 20 fights, has yet to go 12 rounds. The longer they wait, the more, and he knows that Hearn's going to keep him active. So the longer they wait, the better Joshua's going to become. They're going to go into this fight and make that money, but also have their best chance to win and catch Anthony Joshua. It's got to be next year.
Right.
And once you start going into 2019, Joshua might come into his own. He's not quite there yet. He's coming into his own. He's not quite there yet. So I think Finkel wants to get it done sooner rather than later. And I tell you what, if we get Joshua Wilder and Canelo Golovkin 2
Wow.
in 2018, those two fights alone do a lot for the entire game.
Incredible.
Worldwide. And I think we're going to get many other really good fights in 2018.
And where do you think the Wilder Joshua fight's going to be?
What's going
America.
Dang.
America. The money's here. They want to try to do it as a pay-per-view here. Now, if they're going to do it as a pay-per-view here, I think Joshua needs to make his U.S. debut prior to that fight.
Right.
And I think that's the reason why Jarrell Miller was on that card, that HBO card, that Eddie Hearn promotion last night, is that they're looking at Miller as a B-side for Anthony Joshua's U.S. debut in the New York City area. And that makes a lot of sense. That's like Prince Nassim Hamed coming over and fighting Kevin Kelly 20 years ago. It's a perfect foil because he's bombastic, he talks a lot, so he'll help sell the fight. And he's beatable, He's good. He's credible. He's a credible opponent. In this era, he's actually considered a contender.
Yeah.
But he's durable. He's got some skills. He's a little bit too heavy.
And a personality.
Got a personality, which is great. But I think he's a perfect foil.
So who was one of the main cogs in the Kevin Kelly Prince fight?
You mean the promoter or
Yeah.
the
Put it together.
who helped put it together? I think the Prince was with Frank Warren at the time.
One of the guys, Kevin Kelly's guy.
Oh, Tom Loeffler.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Loeffler was Kevin Kelly's manager.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why Loeffler has such a good relationship with Madison Square Garden, which Danny Jacobs can sell tickets there. That was Eddie Hearn's problem, is putting that fight in Long Island.
This guy says...
And not in Brooklyn or New York City. And the fact that fight did not take place at Barclays Center tells me that Al Heyman's really not involved with Danny Jacobs.
This guy says, was Eddie happy with his U.S. debut? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah. I think he wanted more than that.
What's up, Scalia? Hello from L.A. I got your Triple G shirt when I see you next. I got your Triple G shirt.
Scalia is the man.
So he knows everything.
Well, he watches everything.
He watches everything.
How am I doing, Scalia?
Hey, so I want to show you my shirt.
Let's see it, Coach. Riot at the Hyatt.
In honor of Jerry Hoffman, who died
That is awesome.
Yeah, how long did he have that series? Hey, what's up, Matt?
How you doing?
Good morning.
He had the series 17 years.
That's pretty good.
He had fights twice a year.
Yeah.
Every single fight was a sellout. And I told you, the only time he sort of deviated from his just 4- and 6-round fights, when he brought in Livingston Bramble to be the headliner. And then Livingston Bramble took a fight like a week before and got cut.
There you go.
Ryan says, what's up, Dougie?
Hey,
so
what's up, Ryan?
This guy wants to know, he's having his stag in Vegas, Cinco de Mayo. What's that mean?
He's wondering. He's having a stag party. Stag party is like the party before you get married.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
bachelor
all
party.
Guys, bachelor party,
Okay.
right? You know, debauchery, that kind of thing.
So
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah.
He's wondering if
Correct.
if Canelo Triple G is going to land in Vegas, and I think yes. I think the chances are very good.
100%.
Because Golden Boy's relationship with MGM and the deal that T-Mobile Arena gives them.
Yes.
As far as the percentage of that live gate. And mind you, it was the third largest in Nevada State history, probably in boxing history.
And you think Cinco de Mayo is a possibility?
Cinco de Mayo, yeah. If it happens immediately, it'll happen Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
It's not really Golden Boy's all in.
They're on board.
It's up to Canelo.
Okay.
He's the superstar. He's the prima donna here. That's why hardcore fans hate him so much. So everyone's got to wait. I don't blame them. No, hardcore fans are nutcakes. I keep seeing people can yellow, run LO, whatever LO, negative, fill in the blank LO. And it's like, he fought him. He went 12 rounds with Triple G. Yeah, did Triple G win that fight? Yeah, we all know it, but dude, it wasn't. It was competitive. You can't say it wasn't competitive. Right. You can't say he didn't put hands on Triple G. And I'll tell you what, you can't say he won't get better in the rematch. He's fucking 27 years old, man.
Triple G blew the fight. I mean,
listen, you know, you're in Vegas and you're fighting a guy who gets the benefit of the doubt on at least one score time, every fucking major fight.
They knew it going in.
Exactly.
He knew it.
Yeah. So I mean,
he had to take
you got to bring the judge and the jury and the execution.
But they talked about that.
Yeah.
They were going to bring their own judges. Okay, so what happened?
I was right here with Tom Loeffler with you. Right. I kept telling anyone who would listen, I'd say, this fight is going the distance.
And you were right.
And, you're just being a Golden Boy shield. No, dickweeds, I know.
You were right.
But then what happened is...
The kid is tough. The kid is strong and durable.
Yeah, but Triple G didn't throw any body punches. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on.
But it's hard to throw body punches against somebody who can block and counter like Canelo, who will fire back body shots, and who moves like that. But I don't think he stank it out. I don't think he was
not at all. It was a good fight.
He wasn't fighting.
He was
fighting cautiously or smart, but he wasn't fighting scared.
Who do you like in a rematch?
In the rematch, the odds are the same. I like Triple G, but I'm biased in that sense. But I thought he won 8-4, as I said. So
I had him 8-4, maybe 9-3.
But listen, if Vegas wants to fight,
it's hard to lay that price again, though.
Vegas is getting the fight.
Yeah, if Vegas wants to fight, they get it. Because the only way it can go anywhere else would be at the AT&T Stadium in the Dallas area. Because of how many fans they can put in there, they can make probably a Texas record gate with that fight. But they would still need money. They would still need something extra. And Jerry Jones has the money to cough it up, but he's not going to cough up $10 million.
No.
He's not. He's too shrewd for that. He's like, no, okay, maybe $5 million, $6 million. But 10 minutes, he won't do it. He won't do it on principle.
I like Triple G, but the fight's got to be this year, based on the fight being this year.
Yeah.
This guy wants to know, Doug and Coach, predictions if they fight this year for Wilder and Joshua. And I'll tell you
fight this year?
Yeah, and I'll tell you that Joshua, I'm sorry, for 2018.
Okay.
And Joshua's been installed a 2.5 to 1 favorite. I should let you
That's
guys
fair.
know that.
I
Yeah.
think that's fair. I like Joshua.
You do.
And I'll tell you what.
I do too.
And here's and his edge in this fight. It's not just his technique. I think it's how poised he is.
Yes. Yeah.
It's the fact that I've seen him struggle through adversity against quality opposition.
Yes.
He had a wobbly moment against Dillian White. Obviously, he got dropped hard by Vladimir Klitschko. Now, both of those guys let him off the hook. And Wilder he's got a killer instinct. He's a puncher. So it'll be different if Wilder hurts him. But the fact of the matter is, Joshua's been through that adversity. So if he gets hurt by Wilder, he'll deal with it. He'll take a deep breath and he's composed and he'll fire back. But the reason I went with Joshua over Klitschko, because I was really close to picking Klitschko in that fight. He's quick. As big as Joshua is, and he can carry 250 really well and look great, he's got hand speed. It's quick hands. Wilder is faster twitch all around. But Joshua has very quick hands, probably quicker than anybody that Wilder has ever
This
fought.
guy says Wilder will win. Faster twitch, athletic muscles. Okay, we got a split opinion. Coach, your pick for Wilder?
They're not sprinting. They're not running a 100-meter dash, homeboy. They're not doing the triple jump.
Oh my God.
Tom's in the house.
What?
Oh,
Hey, were your ears burning?
Oh,
We just said Triple G's a -180 favorite. Were your ears burning?
Is that the official line now?
That's the official line.
He's a bigger favorite in the rematch than in the first fight?
He is.
Does that mean the bookmakers think that he won the first fight?
Correct.
Thoroughly?
Yes, it does.
That's it. For you? Nice to see you.
It does, Tom.
Good.
I like the minimalist Triple G shirt, and that's a Jordan brand. I didn't even notice this little guy.
I heard Triple G's going to be on the cover of Ring Magazine.
That's very
Coming
true.
up.
You heard right.
That's true.
Who's the new editor of Ring Magazine?
This guy.
He's making good
Is
moves.
that a coincidence?
Big moves.
Yeah, but
Have you seen
decisions.
that
Big moves coming
that
up.
interview that Steve did with him?
In
It's
Russia,
already
yeah.
over 40,000 views on YouTube.
That's awesome.
It's over 100,000 people reached on the YouTube link on the Ring TV Facebook page.
Got a big
And then
reach.
There's a video.
He's in China right now with Jack Ma.
What's he doing in China?
Jack Ma invited him to come over there. He's
Okay.
doing some entertainment stuff over there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tell
so-
him not to shoplift.
That wasn't a good move.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't a good move. Saw Danny Jacobs fought last night.
Yeah. Did you watch it?
I watched it this morning.
Yeah. You think Triple G would have knocked out Arias?
Yes.
I think he would have
think
pressed.
so.
He would have pressed the action.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah. Well, Jacobs is a boxer.
Yeah.
That's what makes him special. I think Roy Jones, was it Roy Jones who was saying that? Like,
I think so.
oh no, it was Bernard Hopkins in the fight game. It was like,
Okay.
he was saying Jacobs is at his best when he's more on the back foot and looking to counterpunch and get the hell out of the way.
He did what he had to do.
And it's because he's so big and athletic. That's what makes that so effective. Is that he could be a killer in there if he had that mentality, but it's not really. As he said himself, he was looking for the knockout with Arias.
Yes.
And that bit him in the ass.
A little bit boring.
Yeah, he was loading up a little bit too
Yeah.
much.
He talked about that.
What's that? Oh, you talked about that fight
And
already?
he fought. No, Jake said that the Arias got into his head, and
He
he used
wanted
his
to
emotions
push it
too
too
much.
much.
So should I buy my ticket to Dallas?
Dallas? Well, first we got to make the fight.
Yeah.
First we got to make the fight. I thought this would be the easiest fight to make. As successful as that first promotion
I think
was.
Golden Boy wants to do it, but they
That
got to
was
wait
the
for
easiest
Canelo.
fight to
He's the prima donna, as we were talking about. That's why hardcore fans hate him. Is he still on vacation? Is that the line? Is that he's
I
on
don't think
vacation and
he's-
then
I
he'll
don't
come back
think
and
he's-
think about it?
Yeah, I don't think he's in the Golden Boy offices yet. So
No.
that's when they wanted to talk to him. But I figured we could already be talking about where this fight's going to be and buying your tickets and buying your pay-per-views.
Right.
But
Give fans some time.
going 12 rounds with Triple G sometimes takes a longer time to make it.
We're asking, Chris. We're asking. Everyone's writing in. Ask Tom about Canelo Triple G. We're asking him. We're asking. Everybody wants to know.
Hey, from our side, we're trying to make it, and I have to say I think Golden Boy wants to make it as well. All the conversations I've had with Eric Gomez, he gives me the impression he wants to make it. They're just waiting on the final green light from Canelo. So.
And you're working with with Gomez and Golden Boy for the Mexican showdown. Mickey Roman versus
actually
Orlando
more
Salido.
so with Zanfer.
Zanfer's got
With
Salido.
Fernando Beltran and
Right.
Zanfer with Salido. I'm glad
Right.
you brought that up. That's going to be a fun fight.
Okay.
December, it's going to be 70 degrees in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
December 9th in
Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay.
Triple header.
As kind of a tribute. Mandalay, was the host hotel for Triple G, and that was that fight was about 10 days before that whole shooting incident there.
Yeah.
So, Gennady has a special connection with Mandalay Bay, and he's actually going to come up Friday night. He's going to come up and do kind of a community outreach and just meet and greet with some of the first responders up there. So,
that's good.
And then invite them, him and associates with Mandalay Bay, invite them to the fight the next day. So
Okay.
that'll be nice. So Triple G will be in Las Vegas for that weekend.
Yeah, what's the
fight
date of that?
weekend.
Is that December?
That's a Friday night, December 8th, and then the fight is
December 9th.
December 9th. Yeah, the tickets just went on sale on Friday. So.
Is Golovkin going to be doing anything with the Jordan brand?
Jordan brand, there will be Triple G merchandise.
It's all on eBay.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
a
like
Jordan, yeah.
what this design.
This is
here,
the design from the
for
flag.
the flag. I
Yeah.
got you. I got you.
Nike's got to get more in stock.
Yeah, we've been having that conversation. I mean, the fans are mad at me, and my hands are tied
It's all your
because of
fault.
our deal
Tom,
with.
no one's mad. No one's ever
We're just
been
trying
mad
to
at you.
provide official merchandise. There's a lot of black market merchandise out there, and I see some of these shirts are going for double the price
Yeah.
that they were selling for.
Get
Yeah,
out of here.
yeah, but we're working on a big deal with them, and working
Hey,
on
let
that
me
Canelo
ask
fight.
you. Do you think that Danny Jacobs could have drew better had that fight been at Barclays Center or at Madison Square Garden? Did the location
My
of that
understanding
fight
was the
did
date
that put a crimp in the ticket sales?
in Eddie's defense, my understanding is that the date that he got from HBO at MSG wasn't available, or Barclays.
So I'm reading in too much that it wasn't at Barclays, because I figured if Al Heyman is entrenched in Jacobs' team, that fight lands there. There's no other venue but Barclays Center.
I don't
Maybe
know
I've got my
I don't
cynical,
know
paranoid, hardcore Harry hat on.
Yeah, I don't know the internal
Yeah.
workings on that. I
Yeah.
know they made a good offer to bring it to Nassau Coliseum, but I heard the
Okay.
ticket sales were pretty soft on that show.
The Hebrew Hammer sold
Unlike
all the tickets.
when Triple G fought at MSG, and it was a completely sold out house,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You talking about for the Jacobs fight?
March.
Yeah. Was it completely sold out for Lemieux?
It was. I was there for
Also,
Lemieux.
yeah.
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 It was
Triple
awesome.
G sold out the last 8 arenas he fought at, including T-Mobile in his last fight against Canelo.
The last 8 arenas he's
third
fought.
highest.
That's a nice stat right there.
Third highest gate in boxing history.
Question is,
That's
Tom,
why it's going to
Triple
return
G,
there, Tom.
Triple G and Canelo.
If you're wondering why it's going to land in
More
Vegas,
than
there's
double
your answer.
than Canelo and Cotto. So
Yeah.
Triple G definitely brings out the fans for the arena.
the question on Periscope is, could we ask Tom about the deadline? Does Canelo have an actual deadline date to sign?
Well, the deadline. There's no. Like I said, I think I
New Year's
was
Eve.
quoted. There's not a hard.
Tom's hosting a New Year's
Deadline.
Eve party, and the winner of Saunders Lemieux will be there. Contract.
And
They'll be doing the countdown, still waiting for Canelo to come in the door. Like, I'll do it.
a lot of pens.
A lot of things.
We'll see. At some point, Gennady's either going to fight in March, April, or May with the rematch. And if we're going to do a March fight, we got to have that done sometime in December. Otherwise, with the arena, with the TV dates, with the opponents, with the undercard, everything needs to be put together. So that's pretty much. We'd like to announce it for that December 9th show. Also, don't forget, Tevin Farmer is going to fight Ogawa.
The
Right.
title.
For the vacant IBF title. This is like a 130-pound
Triple header.
Peter Nelson
Yeah,
HBO
junior
special.
lightweight. Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
then Stephen Smith
Yep.
is
From
going to
Britain.
fight Francisco Vargas. And Eddie Hearn promised me there's going to be a lot of drunken scousers from the UK coming over
Good.
to Mandalay Bay.
They're welcome.
To support Stephen Smith.
Is that part of the broadcast?
We love the fighting
Vargas
Smith brothers.
Yeah.
That's part of the triple header. Yeah, it's going to be a triple header, and not officially announced, but I always give you guys the scoops on Sunday morning
All
here
right.
in
Sunday
Santa
morning
Monica.
scoop. Yeah.
There's going to be 2 HBO Latino fights as well. So
Oh,
there'll be
great.
5 televised fights on that show.
Okay.
Plus the international. And Abel Sanchez had a big win with Saucedo. He had another knockout.
What
Abel's
a
just like the
knockout.
knockout doctor up there in Big Bear.
Yeah.
He's just creating knockouts with Gassiev, with Triple G, with Saucedo, with all the great guys he's got up there. And Denis Shafikov, who's with Abel, is going to fight on.
Oh, isn't he?
one of
You
the
told me he's
HBO
dropping
Latino.
down, right? He's dropping
He moved down to 130.
How can he do
That's
that?
why we put him
He's
on the show.
He's thick, man.
He's gonna be a force at 130. He was already. I mean, a lot of people thought it was extremely close. Some
I
people
did.
thought he beat Robert Easter.
I thought it
in
was
his
close.
The
hometown.
scorecards were
And,
terrible.
Oh yeah. Two shutout scorecards.
So,
That was horrible.
At 130, he's gonna be a big force. So he should be in the mix with any one of those triple header guys.
Abel Sanchez has these guys punching, man. That was a hell of a
There's
knockout.
something in the water up there in Big Bear. We're in the snow, maybe.
Yeah, in the snow.
there.
What do you know about Ryan Martin, his return? Is he going to fight again this year or early next year?
Ryan actually fractured his finger in that last fight against Rojo. So that put him out of any other fights this year. Looking to bring him back next year, maybe on the February show with Superfly. We're going to put some of the pieces together. Or, I mean, Ryan's established where, he's had some great performances. Where in the lightweight division, that's his fighting division. So there's a lot of great matchups there. At some point,
I hear they're looking at maybe testing the waters at 140.
depending on his weight. Yeah, he's gonna train. His next camp, he wanted to do up in Big Bear just to see how the weight does and see how that works out. He's an exciting guy. As tall of a lightweight as I can remember.
Doug, Coach, and Tom, good morning from Paris. Hello,
From
Paris.
What's up, Paris?
Hello,
Triple
Paris.
G was at the grand opening of the Paris Jordan store.
Oh, okay.
Last year. Yeah, we were up
Okay.
there.
Hello from Paris. Hello.
Oh, no question, just hello.
Yeah, just hello.
Bonjour.
That's good.
So Tevin Farmer's opponent, this is for a vacant title. This is
That's for the vacant IBF title, yeah.
okay. That'll be a good fight. Okay.
Yeah, and like Doug said, Salido's at 130. Francisco Vargas is at 130. Shafikov's at 130. So there's going to be a lot of great fights. And the other Latino fight is going to be put on by Zamfir, and that's going to be Munguia.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
going to be fighting, I think, Steven Martinez.
Okay.
That's a decent fight as well. So there'll be a lot of.
So do you have a bet of the week for us?
bet of the week?
That's usually JP saying.
The bet of the week coming up, or the bet of the week
coming up?
I thought yesterday the best bet was Saucedo, who he
Was.
won by. It was a big price, but he won by third round knockout. So that was like the safest bet. Actually, Danny Jacobs was a big favorite. Jarrell Miller was a huge favorite, huge fighter and a huge favorite. I actually thought he would be more impressive. When these guys, Jarrell used to be a sparring partner for the Klitschko brothers when we did the training in Austria. Very solid guy, very talented guy, big guy. But when you have your shot on HBO, your debut, you got to have an impressive performance. And just like if Gennady didn't have an impressive performance against Proxa, he would have never gotten those other fights.
Wouldn't
like
have got that
with
second
Rosado,
opportunity.
with Stevens, if he wasn't knocking all those guys out.
Yeah.
And you really got to be impressive when you got that shot. And so I think with Hebrew Hammer had a big knockout win.
I
last
liked
night.
what I saw.
Yeah.
I liked him.
I loved him, but that's what happened with Danny Jacobs. He needed some big show last night.
Right.
First fight on HBO, the whole build-up, and it's a dud. The fight. I mean, he's really good. He's talented, but I don't know where does he go from here. They're talking about a big fight, but he needs to win by knockout.
You really, in order to put the fans in the seats and bring them out, you have to put. I mean, that's what Abel's philosophy is. You have to even take some risks in order to put on entertainment for the fans. And that's why when Gennady, people say, well, Gennady got hit with this or that uppercut or whatever it is, but then he winds up knocking the guys out. And so that's just kind of philosophy. But look, you can't. Danny's a great boxer. He's very talented. He's a great guy.
He's the best.
It's just you got to put on more of a kind of exclamation point.
That's what we were talking about with Beterbiev. He really didn't look impressive.
I heard he was a little bit flat too.
A little bit flat. He knocked him out eventually.
I wanted to see those fights, but I missed that show last
These guys are wondering, can you ask Tom if Triple G has a nutritionist?
nutritionist.
Yeah, Abel Sanchez.
Abel Sanchez.
Okay.
Look,
Triple G himself.
Gennady burns so many calories up there, he really doesn't have to watch what he eats. There is a Mexican restaurant that's right next to the gym.
Nice.
The Hacienda. Shout out to Gus, the owner.
good.
He's a
Good
great
food.
guy. Comes out to all, they show all the Triple G fights. He comes out to all the fights. And Gus actually cooks the food for Gennady. So he really, we don't just talk about Mexican style. With him
All right.
having a Mexican trainer, he eats the Mexican food every day.
Lives it.
And, and he eats steaks, he eats carne asada, he eats whatever it is.
love
He likes
carne
meat.
asada.
He burns so many calories. He never has a problem with the weight, and so far the formulas work. Whatever Abel's doing up there is
Yep,
definitely
you
working.
heard that right, Scalia. He's asking. Yep, that is Shavikov.
Shafakov, yeah, Dennis Shafakov.
Dennis Shavikov will be on December 9th. That's breaking news. You got it here from Tom.
And that's going to be on HBO Latino.
That's the HBO Latino, which is supposed to be recorded and then shown
Show it
after
afterwards,
the
yeah,
triple
tape
header.
delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how they do that.
But HBO has a strong lineup. The last, coming up, they got the Cotto fight. They got Saunders and Lemieux. They
Yeah.
got this Salido.
Yeah.
The Salido fight. They
It's a
got,
strong December.
Kovalev is fighting. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, Kovalev's fighting Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be fun while it lasts. Shabransky.
Yeah, he makes for fun fights. So
Yeah.
the guy I like, even though he's a favorite this weekend, I think Ancajas from the Philippines is going to beat Conlan's brother. Because that's
Collins can fight. He's a
yeah,
good fighter.
I like
Solid,
him.
very
So
solid. Is
that'll
that
be
coming
my,
up this weekend?
That's this weekend. That'll be my
Yeah,
pick, Coach.
That guy can fight.
Yeah,
And that's
he
the
can
winner of
been,
that fight is somebody for a future Superfly
I was
show.
just going to say, he's kind of in the mix for a potential slot on the Superfly show.
Yeah.
Really?
There's a lot of guys that want, Chocolatito is thinking about fighting on that show.
Cal Yafai.
Yafai
Yeah.
is thinking about on that show. Inoue has thrown his hat back in the ring. And
Yeah.
so it's going to be, whatever the matchups are, is going to be Superfly is kind of like,
It's going to be
Here's
awesome.
the
that's like my favorite brand. We
Yeah.
did that show
Oh, yeah.
at the StubHub Center. I mean,
great.
that was such a great energy in the crowd.
Yeah.
And then, when Rungvisai is coming back and he's going to defend his title
Estrada.
against Estrada, that's going to be a
What a
tremendous
fight.
matchup.
That's
So-
made, right? That's done because that's
That was ordered
mandatory.
by WBC. Yeah,
Yes.
both guys want to fight.
Yeah, I mean
so-
the date isn't locked down yet or whatever.
Date's not
but
locked down, but we might announce it one of these days here Sunday morning.
Okay.
But
That is a
hopefully in
special
the next
fight.
couple-
There's no way.
next
There's
couple
no way
weeks.
Sor Rungvisai Estrada is not going to be gangbusters.
Incredible.
There's
That's
no
gonna
way
be
that's not going to be a fight of the year
Incredible.
candidate. It's
Yeah.
impossible.
And it fits.
They can't. Those guys cannot stink it out.
Incredible.
You could pay them. Hey, take it easy on each other. Stink it out a little bit. They wouldn't do it.
Nope.
Where's
wouldn't
the
do it.
Superfly fight going to be?
Well, we're hoping to bring it here to LA, but that hasn't been finalized either. But we had such a great response last time that we want to bring it back to LA.
If Ancajas wins, he's an exciting
He's
fighter.
in the mix. Brian
Yeah.
Gloria had a nice win on
Yep.
the last
Yeah.
one. He's
Oh, yeah.
always an exciting fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Brian is. So we'll have to see. Whatever we can do to mix and match the best matchups there.
So you always get a little tidbits on Sunday from Tom. There you go. There's the breaking news.
And how do you like Doug's jumping rope today?
Solid.
He has not
Solid.
Representing Garcia Boxing.
Got to do that. Yeah, I did want to say one thing.
Sure.
The absolute best website
Okay.
is Dennis Taylor's.
Ringside, right? You love Ringside.
It's let's see, what's it called? What is it? I forget what it's called.
Ringside Boxing Show,
Yeah,
right?
Ringside Boxing
Explain
Show.
to the people
Okay.
you're a...
It's my first go-to every day. You look at today's headlines. It's incredible. It's got about 20. Got them in these little boxes. You get everything out of that. Dennis Taylor is so talented.
He's based up north, right?
It's a labor of love. Do you ever read
I'm gonna have to go check it out. No,
No,
I'm
it's
gonna
the-
go
it's
home.
like the hub.
I'm gonna
No.
go home and take a look at all the
For all
boxes.
these-
No, it's the best. So all you do is you go to Ringside Boxing Show, and then you go to today's headlines, and then he has them in little boxes, and he just gets the best articles from every place. And you just go through it.
That's where Doug gets all the answers to your questions.
That's where I get all my questions because in there I get today's
Secrets
boxing
revealed.
history
Nice.
out of the
All
Ringside
the current
Boxing
events,
Show.
right?
Yeah.
And he links
It's-
podcasts and stuff. I know you've sent me
Then
articles.
he has a radio show that he
Doug,
has
you've been on it, on
every
radio
Sunday
show.
Yeah.
that he does. He's an incredible interviewer. He has
Yeah.
great guests
Really
on.
is good.
In fact, Doug and I were guests on.
He's
it.
had Dean on there.
We were on there for a while too.
Dean
Yeah.
Hamilton's been on there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, everyone's been
Dennis
on
is
there.
great. Yeah, there's one he did some years ago with Ice John Scully,
Uh-huh.
which I heard about from you, Dave. That I haven't heard, but I want to hear it because I know Dennis is an excellent interviewer, and I know Scully's just a great interview. He loves boxing so much, and he's so knowledgeable about so many different facets of the sport that had to be a great show.
These guys are all writing in saying, we want Cinco de Mayo, Triple G revenge. We all do. Trust me, we all
want
do.
that. We want that. It's not really revenge. It's just it would be another proven statement. But look, Canelo's young. I think he's learning with every fight, especially at the 160-pound limit. I think he looks much better at 160, like when he fought Chavez, and
he should have moved up.
He just
earlier.
looks a lot better at 160.
You know why? Because he gets to train at his natural weight.
Abel said he would have been at 160 2 years ago if Triple G wasn't at 160.
Oh yeah, well maybe.
That's his philosophy. But I think it'll be a better fight and a bigger event in the rematch.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's a natural just to get it done. It was both guys' biggest payday of their careers, so it's pretty much a natural.
Both guys are being told.
The fans are demanding it.
Both guys are being told to do a little bit more offensively.
Mm-hmm.
I know on Triple G's side, everyone's like, well, why didn't he go to the body? There's all this pressure, go to the body. So I expect him to go to the body in the rematch. And on Canelo's side, I know this at least from the Golden Boy folks like Eric Gomez, they wanted him to stand his ground. And Bernard Hopkins,
we want him to stand
your ground,
too.
stand your ground a little bit more, and don't fight in so many spots. Have a more consistent jab. So they're asking for more offense and more punch output on Canelo's side. So you put those two sides together.
Canelo definitely has hand speed at 160 pounds. He has got good hand speed.
And he's
A lot of
strong
upper
and he's
body
durable.
Movement.
Yeah, he moves pretty well.
Yeah.
And he had to gain some confidence from this fight.
Sure.
Canelo.
Anytime you go 12 rounds, look at Danny last night. Anytime you can go 12 rounds with Gennady, who's arguably the most vaunted puncher in the sport, and so you figure Canelo, like I said, he's young. He's he's going to be 27 next year, and so you figure that gives him a lot more confidence as well.
So do the hotels buy most of the tickets?
The MGM bought a lot of tickets to the last one. Those were easy tickets to sell, but they bought a lot of tickets for their casino clients.
Yeah.
Well, they invite them to the
This guy's-
VIPs.
They've got a deal. They're in business with T-Mobile. That's
Right.
connected.
Yeah.
MGM
This
properties.
guy's writing and he says, Dougie, do your bosses at Ring, are they upset at you because you keep saying Triple G won the fight? No, Doug
When
can
the
say
fight
what
was
he
made,
wants.
as soon as the fight was made, I said I love Triple G in that fight. I like him.
Doug's allowed to say what he wants.
But at the same time, I was, I was keeping it real with my thoughts on Canelo. I
You
thought
were.
that was going to go the distance,
said it
and I
would go
thought
the
it was going to be a
distance.
competitive fight.
You
Now,
did.
had the fight happened in May of 2016, I would have picked Golovkin by late stoppage.
Yeah, of all of us, you were most accurate. You did say it would go the distance. Dave and I were picking late stoppage, so you did say that.
I was thinking it was going to be an 8 rounds to 4, 7 rounds to 5.
It was.
Kind of thing.
That's how Harold Letterman scored it.
It was.
Yeah.
That's how I scored it.
It was
Yeah.
8-4.
But Doug has a lot of credibility because he's outspoken, not just a party line one way or the other. I mean, he's has his own thoughts and his opinions, and he sticks with them. That's why.
Who do you like in a rematch, Doug?
You know what? I don't know yet. I don't know. That's an interesting one. Although Golovkin looks good. I mean, and people point to his age. He's 35, right?
35, yeah.
Bernard Hopkins, Mike McCallum. These guys at 35 at middleweight were at their best.
James Toney.
They came
James
into their
Toney,
own.
yeah,
James
another one,
Toney at
yeah.
35 at cruiserweight was exhibiting some of the best form of his career. But just specifically talking about middleweights, Hopkins and McCallum, because they were physically durable,
snatcher.
strong,
Yeah.
body snatcher.
Yeah.
They were durable technicians, and they were well preserved, and they lived right.
Yep.
Between fights, they weren't like blowing up in weight or
That's
anything.
with Gennady's style, with the punching power that he has. Look at George Foreman.
Exactly.
Gennady doesn't have to be the fastest guy, but if he can stalk you, cut off the ring, and land some of those
There's
shots.
not a lot of wear and tear, but just looking at him physically, when it was Halloween morning, he just looks good. I mean, his skin, his face, his body looks good. He doesn't. He speaks well. Everything. He seems to me that he is. I mean, I think he's hit his ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of plateaued in terms of. I don't think his style's going to change. I don't. I expect him to be the same Gennady, but I thought he won the first fight. So if he's the same guy, he can win the rematch. It's really up to Canelo to do a lot more. He's got to have the courage to stand and trade, and even I think he's got to try to push Golovkin back, not just stand there and catch counter or slip and counter or whatever, but actually not just put hands on Golovkin, but try to push him back on his heels. I think really that's the only way you're going to truly get Golovkin's respect, and if your objective is to break him down, that's the only way to do it. You can't do it
I
by.
agree with that. I agree with that.
You can't orbit him.
This guy says Doug has been very fair and objective pre and post fight for this fight, and he thinks Canelo.
Yeah, and
will
by
win
the way,
rematch.
you know, when
Okay, I'll bet
everyone
you.
says I'm a big Floyd Mayweather hater, and they're correct. and I never wavered on that. And Mayweather was Golden Boy's biggest client
Right.
for several years.
Right.
And the CEO of Golden Boy during those times was a man named Richard Schaefer, who was a tyrant.
Right.
And he did not like it if you spoke out against Al Heyman or Mayweather. So if I'm afraid to speak my mind, then I wouldn't have been anti-Mayweather all those years, people.
Right.
I mean, really, think logically.
What's up, Bernie? Bernie's checking in. He says,
Oh, Bernie from
100
Chicago.
What's up, Bernie?
It's got to be snowing out there.
138K tickets and counting sold for Loeffler this year, 2018. There you go. That's the report.
Really?
That's if you
that all
count
of them? All the
Wembley,
events?
Wembley Stadium, yeah.
Wicked.
Wembley Stadium, MSG over 20,000, T-Mobile over 20,000.
I bet.
Incredible.
Superfly, we did.
Superfly did well.
Superfly had the second highest after Triple G.
Yeah.
Rubio had the second highest grossing gate of the StubHub Center. So,
Grossing. You're talking about the gates.
Chocolatito, yeah. I mean, well,
Nice.
ticket sales, and
Ticket
most amount of people in there.
Yeah.
So Chocolatito definitely has become a fan favorite. That's what
138K,
we'd love
wow.
to have him on the
It says, Viva
next-
Tom Loeffler. Can we ask Tom, what's the best fight you've ever been to? Live.
Boy, I'll tell
That's
you.
a tough question.
Best fight I've been to live is probably when Vitaly fought Lennox Lewis.
Okay.
That one was just two heavyweights back and forth
Staples Center.
at the
Incredible.
Staples Center. Yeah, 2003. I'd have to say that one and Vladimir when he fought Joshua. I mean, when you got those big heavyweights in there throwing
Amazing.
punches, and Vitaly was winning the fight, had the big cut on the eye, and then Vladimir that back and forth, and the atmosphere at Wembley Stadium was
Those are
amazing.
two great
Isn't that where you
choices.
started your association with the Klitschko's?
Yeah. Well, actually, 1999 with Ed Mahone. I brought there's
right,
another
right.
one that was nicknamed the Hammer.
The Hammer.
Yeah, not the Hebrew Hammer, but the Hammer.
I was at
And,
a forum boxing.
Yeah, foreign boxing, undefeated, and I brought it over to challenge Vitaly with his WBO title. And Vitaly's manager at the time, I had a good relationship with him, and he introduced me to him. I was working with Ali at the time when we had the memorabilia company representing a lot of retired athletes, and so Vitaly came over to LA to meet Muhammad Ali, and had his child here at the Cedars-Sinai Hospital, his first boy, and we developed a relationship ever since. So I had a really good relationship with both.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had a bad relationship?
With the fighter?
Anyone?
Uh,
Not really.
With a
Not really.
fellow manager?
I
Is there a
mean-
fellow
Not
manager
really.
out there who hates you?
I was disappointed with Shane.
Okay.
We had a very close relationship with Shane, and then got him his world title fight when nobody wanted to fight him.
Yep.
He wasn't selling tickets. None of the fighters wanted to fight him because I knew
That was
how good
Philip
he was.
Holiday, IBF title holder with
Holiday,
Cedric
yeah.
Kushner.
Yeah. So Shane's a good guy. I think he just made
Difficult
some
to
bad,
do business with.
Business decisions,
Yeah.
and his father Jack wasn't very easy to deal with.
Well, he wasn't business savvy,
And,
let's put it that
I
way.
think we could have really taken his career to, look at the sponsorships and everything that we're doing with Gennady.
Yeah. The problem with
Shane's a very marketable guy.
Shane had the talent and the durability and the will
And at
to be a
135,
champion.
he was
And
one of the best ever.
at lightweight, he was a total monster.
Yeah.
But he was lucky that HBO took a liking to him, and they left a lot of money on the table. Because Jack wanted to be in control of all these negotiations and set the price. And
He didn't make it easy.
what Jack's saying is he didn't want to get like an agent or somebody to negotiate on his, who was a little more savvy with the business end of it and the television end of it, as he didn't want them to make any money. so he was doing it himself, and he just wasn't savvy enough with DeBella and who's the guy?
He was with Cedric. We brought him to
Davis.
Cedric in the beginning.
Yeah.
Or you mean Kerry Davis?
Kerry Davis,
Yeah.
these guys, they turned down fights they shouldn't have turned down, and just he was a success commercially in spite of himself. But he never was
of
able to be
talent.
developed
Because of
into
talent, right.
because of talent, yeah. But he was never, and he was likable too. So he had friends in the media, including Larry Merchant, which
Right.
that helps. But he was never developed into a ticket selling attraction.
And as an A side, he was a great B-side,
pay-per-view
when he
B-side.
When he fought Cotto, when he
Yes.
fought Margarito, when he fought
Floyd. Yeah. No, he was. Yeah.
and Oscar. Yep.
Right, Oscar, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Those shows
So
did.
he was a great
Right.
matchup, but he couldn't.
He was
carry-
never his own guy, but
carry the event,
it's
yeah.
because he never had like a healthy relationship with a promoter, and that's Jack. I mean, and I love Jack, by the way. I think he did a great job with Shane. He's a great guy, a lot of fun. But you know, Shane turns pro, and they go with like I think it was Pat Ortiz.
Patrick Ortiz was
it was like
that's
a
right.
club show guy.
Yeah.
So he was fighting on the club, which is that's okay. I mean, Tim Bradley started with Thompson Boxing, and they took him all the way to a title, and that's fair. I'm not putting down Pat Ortiz or club show promoters, but when you step up to that world-class level, you do need a partner, a promoter on that world-class level who can put you in the right venues, and then you gotta fight the right fights at the right time in the right areas, and that didn't happen with Shane. And I've been arguing with some people on Twitter about promoters, because somebody said, well, promoters are no longer necessary. All a boxer needs is a good lawyer. And I said, you're totally wrong. Now more than ever, boxers need a good promoter. And you know, there's certain hardcore fans out there that think that Golovkin sells tickets just because he was on HBO. And I tell them, if that was true, Kovalev would be a ticket seller.
Right.
Sergio Martinez would have been a ticket, and they weren't.
That's right.
And it is what it is.
It was a hard battle.
You need a promoter.
It was a hard battle taking Gennady, who nobody knew fighting over here, getting him on HBO the first time. I was even Steven Espinosa with Showtime. I was trying to get him on Showtime, and happened to get the Proxa fight. That was that whole.
You were even taking him to Epics, man.
Everywhere.
You weren't messing around.
Yeah, no,
So
it's
Triple
true.
G could have been on Showtime.
And if Epics said
Triple
no,
G
then
would have been on
PBS.
Showtime. No, Steven said that they would have given us a date, or going to give us a date in April of that year, that 2012. I remember it vividly. We brought Gennady to the HBO offices, to the Showtime offices, and we brought him to the Sergio Martinez fight when he fought Macklin, and Macklin dropped him. That's when people, when they criticized Gennady fighting Macklin, I mean, Macklin fought all the best guys, dropped Sergio Martinez.
Macklin should have got the decision against Felix Sturm.
And
Yes.
should have won the fight against Felix Sturm.
Both Macklin and Martin Murray should have had world titles.
So when people look into Gennady's opponents a little bit deeper, then that whole narrative
A lot of the
goes
folks
out
that
the
are
window. You know?
Triple G detractors, they have an agenda.
Martin Murray,
And they are very transparent.
Martin Murray, we fought in Monte Carlo because he couldn't get a visa over here in the United States.
Ah.
Who goes and looks to go fight Martin Murray when you can have a perfect excuse? Oh, we can't fight that guy because he can't come here. And Martin Murray, nobody wanted to fight him. He dropped Sergio Martinez twice in Argentina.
Right.
At
Oh,
the
he
time.
won that fight. That was crazy.
So you know that he won that fight, but it might have been better that he lost the decision. He might not have gotten out of that.
Yeah.
Out of that arena. That would have been a dangerous situation for those guys. So, but Martin's a great guy, and you know, he's fought a lot of tough. Rosado just had a nice win again recently. So.
Yeah, against Glenn Tapia.
To answer your question, this is SMC Track in Santa Monica. That's where we
A
are.
little overcast today. Normally
Little
it's not
overcast.
but,
I'm okay.
There's June gloom.
June gloom in November.
yeah.
Only Southern
Let
California.
me ask you this: have you ever driven with Jack Mosley?
I knew you were
Yes.
going to say this. I knew
No.
you were going to say this.
Yeah, he does not pay attention. He'll sit there and talk to you like you're sitting at a Denny's somewhere.
So he's talking to you instead of
Yeah, and then he tries to direct other drivers while he's driving, and I'm talking about being on the 10 freeway. You know? Oh yeah,
Scary.
no,
And he's texting at the
I've
same
got some.
time.
Oh yeah, I've got crazy Jack Mosley stories. I've got some stories about.
And he
Jack
drives
and
all
Shane.
the time. He goes
I'm gonna
all the
give
way
Shane a
up
call
north and
today.
back. The guy never gets in an accident.
No, he's got some mojo going
He
for him,
does.
but it's a scary experience. Yeah, and dealing with Jack was, you know, so I never dealt with Jack like, you know, like as an
Jack's
agent
a
or
very
manager.
likable
Yes,
guy.
it is.
But
Of course,
on the
their
business
stadium.
side, he was
Yeah.
very challenging. And,
You're right.
Track.
Once you start talking business, then it became difficult, and even like with, you know, scheduling like video or photo shoots for Shane for like, this is back with House of Boxing and Max Boxing. Jack will change things on you. You know, you'll get a whole camera crew up there to Big Bear, which
Remember
is
House
easy
of
to get to.
Boxing?
Yeah. House of
That was,
Boxing.
yeah.
And then Jack will change his mind. No, not today, maybe tomorrow. I'm like, what are we going to do till tomorrow, Jack?
So we have an easy solution. When people come up and it gets postponed, we just go drink margaritas at the Hacienda.
Yeah, I should have did that. I was
And then do the
stressing
interview
out.
the next day.
Yeah, no, you know what I did? This is true. I don't know if Jack remembers. I refused to leave their house until they gave us the interview for this thing. It was a video that we did before Shane fought Oscar. And Shane was a 3-1 underdog.
At
Yeah, the
Staples
first
Center
one at Staples Center. We called, yeah. So it was for House of Boxing, I think, because it was 2000. Yeah.
That was a great.
Wasn't that in
website
2000?
when?
Yeah.
That could have been, yeah.
Yeah. So we were doing video when people had dial-up. So.
Michael Katz.
Yeah, Katz was part of
Because
it.
Oscar fought Oba in '99, so
Yeah.
that could have been
First
Staples.
fight
in
at
2000.
Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
That was Oscar Obakar.
Doug,
That's
you
right.
got time for one more question?
Yes.
The question is, what do you think of Mikey pulling out of the Linares fight, and now it looks like we'll get Easter Mikey and
Yeah.
Linares Campbell too?
Well, I think Mikey Garcia versus Robert Easter Jr. is a good lightweight fight.
Yes.
It's a title unification bout,
That's a good
WBC
fight.
and
That's
IBF.
solid, very solid,
I
yeah.
just think that see Robert Easter has just come onto the scene.
Right.
If you're in Toledo, you know who he is. If you're a hardcore fan who watches Showtime, you know who he is. Other than that, you don't know who he is.
Yeah.
'Cause I think he's proven himself. I mean, whether you thought he won or lost against Shafikov, he went
Robert
12
Easter
hard
fight.
rounds with
He
him,
had a
right?
great
He can
amateur
fight.
career.
And then
He can
Richard
fight. He can
Comey?
definitely fight,
We won the
Richard
title.
Comey
That
can
was
fight.
a war.
Yep.
And Comey can punch. So the guy is durable. He's tall. He's rangy. He's fast. He can stick and move. He fights on the inside pretty good. I think he's a dangerous opponent for Garcia. I mean, if I'm advising Garcia, I say take the Linares fight because Linares has been on the world-class scene for 10 years.
Right.
Linares is talked about like an elite boxer. He's a 3-division title holder, just like Mikey Garcia. That's a fight you can build into a pretty big attraction in Southern California. So, and that's a fight that Garcia is favored to win because Linares is a bit chinny.
Right.
He cuts up, he busts up, and he's been knocked out. And we all know that Garcia can punch. So most
And
people
and box.
and box. Well, yeah, you got to be able to box to be able to land a punch against a guy as talented as Linares. But once you land it, so most people think he's going to win the fight. So he's the favorite, and it's a huge fight. And the deal that Golden Boy gave him was like, listen, you get Linares, no strings attached.
Wow.
We split the money down the middle. Golden Boy was going to promote it, which is a good thing because they'll get the biggest deal, and they'll also, they'll promote it in a way where there's going to be butts in the seats. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to have a fight of that magnitude and just have like 4,000 people there. You want like 10,000, right?
Right.
So it was a great deal, and he decided to go elsewhere, and I wish him luck. But the thing is Mikey's very public about who he calls out, right? So he'll call out a Cotto, he'll call out a Linares on Twitter,
Right.
and create a big buzz and noise, and then when he sits down to discuss the fights, then he says, "Nah, I think I'll look into other options," right?
Right.
So everyone knows about this, right? Including promoters, and at some point, if you're a major promoter, knowing his contentious relationship with Top Rank, and knowing the runaround he seems to give Golden Boy, do you really want to be in the Mikey Garcia business?
Sure.
I wonder, like, if I'm a major promoter, do I want that headache?
You know who made
Do I
that
want to sit
decision?
and negotiate until we're close to announcing a fight, and then he's like, "Oh, hold on, let me give Al a call."
Yeah. No, that's
Nah,
who,
you know what? Never mind. Nah.
No,
it's
that's
cool.
who made the decision.
But next week we'll do it. After a while, you're like, "There's not going to be a next week, man."
no,
it's the
Al
Boy Who Cried
Heyman.
Wolf scenario.
That's Al Heyman's decision.
Right.
That fight. He wants him to fight Easter.
Wow.
But the
Yeah.
thing is,
it's great for Robert Easter.
but it's a stupid move for Mikey because he's going to knock out Linares.
Right, if he fought Linares, but he
Yeah.
does not. He's
I'd
not
have him,
doing it.
I'd have him the favorite over Linares.
Everyone does.
And then he can
Everyone
come back.
says he says. Everyone says the same thing. Linares' speed and lateral movement gives him trouble early. He acclimates to the speed and the style,
And knocks him
gets his
out.
timing together in the middle rounds, and stops him late.
Yeah.
Everyone says
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, what I
and
like,
these are knowledgeable people.
what
who
I
are
like
saying
about
this.
it is now we might get Linares and Campbell too, and Eddie will fill a stadium.
Yeah.
If it's out there.
Yeah.
And I think that might be a good bet.
Which Campbell?
Luke Campbell
Luke
and
Campbell
Linares.
gave him a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just fun.
they might do the rematch.
Yeah.
Over there?
Yeah, because of the
I
money.
like that.
And I love Campbell. in
And I
that
think
rematch.
Campbell has a good shot. I mean, it depends where the fight is, but I think
Linares fought in the UK a number of times.
He
Yeah,
has.
Many times.
comfortable.
He's popular there.
Over there, yeah.
He's popular. That's the thing about Linares is fought on like every continent.
I like
Except
that
for like
fight.
Antarctica, right? Like he's fought everywhere. People know him, not just in America, but
And he knows
worldwide.
Japanese.
He speaks fluent Japanese. His English is pretty good. He speaks Spanish. It's a fight. You can promote it so well. Mikey Garcia, who's also bilingual, Mexican descent, and against this talented Venezuelan who is a true world champion.
Yeah.
Fights everywhere. Like British TV would be into that fight.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It just makes so much sense that to me it doesn't make any sense not to do it if if Golden Boy delivered what he asked for, which is no strings attached. I don't want you guys to have options on me. Because with the Cotto fight, they're like, listen, you can make $2 million plus, but we promote your next 2 fights, you know, and you can fight Linares or Lucas Matisse or whoever the hell in our stable, you know. And he didn't want that. And that's fair. You don't want to be tied down to a certain promoter. That's fair.
That was the
but
problem with Chavez and Top Rank when we were trying to make the Triple G fight.
Right. Right. Because for Top Rank to make that fight, then they wanted a couple other fights or something, you know. But they were offering him so much money.
That was a lot of money.
I was like, dude, what's the big deal? You know, do these fights, get rich. If you win them, you're a superstar, and then you can tell Bob to screw off. You know, like, but no.
That's one fight I wish would have happened. I mean, we were making a lot of concessions just to get that fight.
What year was that? Was that 2014 or 2015?
I think that was 14.
And you guys were talking about the Forum in Inglewood, right?
Yeah.
Well,
and that fight would have done extremely well because Gennady was like on his vertical rise, and Chavez
would have given his career a huge
established name, had still major credibility at that point. And, that would have been a big event.
Yeah, you guys have had to wait for your mega fight.
Gennady's never had. He's been in a weird situation. I mean, you look at Anthony Joshua and Vladimir just now. Vladimir agreed to fight him, the young guy coming up.
Yeah.
He's never had an older, established guy willing to get in the ring with him. Sergio Martinez.
No one wants to pass the torch.
Felix Sturm he wouldn't get in the ring with Cotto when he beat Sergio. He wouldn't get in the ring.
It's called the Mayweather era.
All the older names wouldn't
not my scalp.
Get in the ring. Yeah.
I don't care. Screw that tradition.
Paul Froch. I thought we could go to Wembley Stadium and fight Paul Froch. He wouldn't.
Said, nope, I'm retired.
Shop Triple G just joined the Periscope. Shop
Nice.
Triple G. There
What's
you go.
up,
We're
fellas?
working on the shirts. We're working on the shirts. So, Coach, there's 2 minutes left on the Periscope. I know you want to talk about safe driving, but we should summarize. We got December 9th.
Yep.
It's going to be
Orlando,
five fights now.
Yep. At Mandalay Bay, December 9th. Nice weather, Las Vegas in December. You got to come out to check out the weekend.
Come out and check it out. We got Superfly we're working on and Triple G Canelo 2, maybe.
Working on that one, yeah.
We're working on it.
Yep.
Thanks, Tom.
Good.
All right. Thanks, Dougie.
How was my rope skipping?
It was excellent,
I
as
do okay?
always. Hey,
I get
actually,
some
one guy,
Abbreviated today.
Yeah, well, I kind of do it in spurts.
actually, one guy wrote in and said, Coach, if you train Dougie for a year, can you get him to the 154-pound title? What do you think, Coach?
I can get you to the 135.
Okay.
35? No.
What are you, man?
I'm heavier than I look.
What are you?
I'm like super middleweight, 168.
Wow. But
Yeah.
look how trim Tom
Just
does.
walking around.
I wouldn't think you were
Coach
168.
gets
Really
you.
trim, Tom.
That's true. If I go up to Big Bear, I could get down to
I wouldn't think you were
154.
168.
Yeah, no. I'm
And knock
heavy.
everyone out.
You could fight Darrell on Friday night.
Jarrell would take that fight.
So, Dougie, I'm going to let you talk about safety.
Okay.
Let me just tell you this
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing
I'm
about
getting
driving.
better at it.
About driving.
Yeah.
I called my daughter Lily the other day.
Okay.
She picks up the phone. I said, "Are you driving?" Yep. Just can't believe it. I mean, I went crazy on her.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you cannot, like, and we all have that instinct to look at the phone, to pick it up. I have it.
Yeah.
But I listen to myself. I pull over. You have to pull over. So, what do you think about
I
it?
can't
Doug?
say it any better than that. I keep it in my pocket or I put it face down because the way these phones are, I get notifications for my email, for Instagram,
Everything.
for Twitter.
Twitter, yeah,
There's the
everything.
WhatsApp direct
Yeah,
message.
yeah.
There's all these I'm getting notifications. It's buzzing all the time with little messages. So if the screen is facing up, right, and I'm driving, I can't help
Right.
but look over. And I'll do it if I'm at a stoplight. But even doing that is bad because once you do that, then it starts moving again.
How do you like your new phone?
Yeah, I love it.
It's awesome.
But I turn it over. It's too good. I turn it over if I don't have it in my pocket.
Right.
But I've been keeping it in my
So
pocket.
I'll tell you this.
and I never answer it if you call me when I'm driving.
Yeah.
It's not that important.
I know Tom drives and talks on the phone.
But I'm Bluetooth.
Bluetooth.
Speakerphone. Yeah.
Bluetooth.
Driving is boring if
Hands-free.
you can't do that.
Hands-free.
Yeah.
So please, folks, pull over to the side of the road. It's not important.
Yeah, and don't drive like in a hurried, stressed out
Yeah.
state of mind. Just
Save
take a
extra
breath.
few minutes and
yeah.
then, risk a lot of other stuff.
Like you just won the lottery.
Like you just won
Life's
the lottery.
beautiful. Everything's great. You love everybody.
And you want to live for a long time and
Exactly.
enjoy those lottery winnings.
You want to
right?
enjoy your money.
Yeah.
You want to just enjoy life. It's all good.
drive like that.
So thanks everybody for the questions. Thanks Tom.
Thanks, JP.
We'll see you next week. We can talk.
What's the best bet you got coming up?
I like Ancajas this weekend. I think he's going to knock out Conlon.
That's over in the UK, right?
It's in Belfast, so it's
Belfast,
risky.
right.
You're going to the other
Okay.
guy's hometown.
Right.
I think that's gambler's logic, but I'll
Any
I'll
other
be
fights
quiet.
coming up this weekend? Or is it gonna be-
Frampton's return.
Okay.
He's a big favorite.
And that's Horacio Garcia.
Yeah, we got
He'll
Julian.
bring it. He's a
yeah,
tough, big,
he's a
tough, strong guy.
We
He'll
got
bring it.
Julian Williams, Ishe Smith, which is a premier boxing card.
That's this weekend?
It is this weekend. Yeah, Julian Williams coming back from the tough loss.
Go
Julian
J-Rock.
Williams he was sparring with Gennady for the Canelo fight.
Nice.
He's a good fighter.
Gennady
He's a-
speaks
Julian
really
Williams-
highly of him.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a nice little fighter. He can
He
fight.
speaks really.
So hopefully he
fight,
gets a
yeah.
good comeback win here. He's fighting
Gennady
Ishe.
loves his sparring partners, by the way.
Yeah.
Like he is like a gym guy.
And they love him.
Yeah.
They love. He
They do.
teaches them. He shows
does.
them his system and the whole thing. And they
That's
like,
what
they
he's
like being
into.
up there. You know, it's a camaraderie up there.
And I think mentally speaking, like when he's around young fighters who look up to him and learn from him, he's motivated by
Yeah,
that.
sure.
Like he still loves going to camp and training and being in that environment. He really does, folks.
And he likes to fight.
He likes to fight. And he
likes to fight.
said this after the interview that he did in Russian with Kim. He said, "Listen, man, I'm a pure fighter.
Yeah.
I'm a pure boxing fan. I love the sport. I love to fight. I love training. I love sparring, and I wish I could fight. I wish," he said, he wished he could go back to fighting 4 times a year. And he said he wishes he could defend his title against some of his sparring partners. Just for the fact, he's like, no, you're not supposed to do that. There's WBC
What
rules.
he's saying is like the sparring was more entertaining than the
Right,
fight.
more
because
action.
sparring partners were coming forward
And doing
whereas-
2 rounds
whereas
apiece with him.
Canelo was kind of
Yeah, he said it was beautiful. He said it was like that was like
Yeah, and 2 rounds.
awesome
first.
action.
Exactly, just like you said. Yeah.
Awesome action. So that's how Gennady is, man. He's like that's how Hagler was.
Sure. Yeah.
That was Marvin Hagler.
Thanks for all the question, folks. We'll be back next Sunday. You can write in about, we'll see how Julian Williams looks, Frampton's return. We'll see Ancajas, and we'll talk more about Wilder Joshua and Triple G Canelo. We'll see you then.
All good.
Thanks, Coach.
Out.
How do you stop it, Doug? You don't know.